We also, I don't know, are there any crew members here from the movie who, no, anyone travel up here? No, let's bring them in. I know John's here. John's our amazing producer who made this movie possible. There you go.
Okay, so I'll open the floor to questions. I'll repeat the questions and we'll pass the microphone along to whomever it applies to. So, do I have someone to start? I'll see if there's anyone in the balcony. Yeah, right up there in the gray, I think.
This is for the cast. When did you know you wanted to do the film? Was it like reading the script or beforehand, or what really sold you on doing this?
So, to the cast, what sold you on doing this? Was it reading the script? What point were you into doing this?
Yeah, I was a fan of the Daniels' work, and I remember seeing their stuff for the first time, and literally thought, whatever juice they're drinking, I want some. And I knew they were at the Sundance Lab, and I still have in my email a draft, probably written very late at night, drinking red wine alone in a hotel room in Switzerland. We should look into these guys, the Daniels of the Sundance Lab, and I never sent it. And like, probably 7 or 10 days later, I got their script in my email, coincidentally. So I kind of knew there was something up. And I think page 2, once the farting corpse just came out, I was in. I really didn't want anybody else doing that.
Yeah, similarly for me, just on reading the script and just, you read so much and you're always just looking for something that is truly original. And there is so little of that. And I read this and I was like, this is like nothing else. And similarly to Paul, like the challenge of playing a dead guy, the physical challenge of that and how that would be. I was at a moment of like, I want to do that. I don't want to be watching someone else do that.
Yes, they did an amazing job. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to work with these people. I just wanted to be along for the ride. And as soon as I heard the Daniels were directing, Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano were starring, I sort of didn't even need to read the script. But when I read it and I met with them and I heard the music and all the elements started coming together, I just thought this was going to be the most incredible thing to be a part of. So I feel lucky. I feel very lucky.
Okay, great. Yes, right down there. Props to the rendition of Jurassic Park. What was your inspiration for the music throughout the film?
I mean, we're music video directors, that's where we started, and I think music's been a really big part of how we conceptualize and figure out tone and figure out like what is interesting, what's like a narrative worth pursuing. So like, we knew music was going to be really important from the very beginning, and we also knew that we wanted to do something different with music. And the idea of a man stranded in the middle of nowhere, isolated on his own, having his thoughts swirling through his head, having the only voice he hears really his own voice for a while, just seemed really interesting. And so we just were like, let's take that idea. The only problem is we both hate a cappella music, and so we were like, let's make sure it doesn't sound like college a cappella music. And that was you can talk about the composer.
Yeah, I'll take that. So, and the guys who did the score, Andy and Robert, are in a band called Manchester Orchestra. And we did a music video for them years ago and just loved them. So we kind of gave them a lot of freedom. They were super excited to be on board, to start sending us music. We had a lot of songs before we started shooting. And they killed it. They're pretty cool.
So I got a really clinical email one day from John Williams' assistant, and it's like, given these syncs at this time, and this, and this, and this, we grant you permission to use Jurassic Park in your movie. And I remember bringing Daniel Shiner into my terribly bad hotel room in San Mateo SFO Airport Hotel where we were filming. And I started reading him the email and I push play on the Jurassic Park theme song and I just see him like processing it. And then we go over to Dan's room and he wasn't responding, so we just put a speaker outside of his door. And we start blasting the Jurassic Park theme song and we're like, yeah, we got Jurassic Park! So, yeah.
Yes, just right down there on the right.
I'd like to ask about the different Swiss Army man components, how you thought of them. We obviously have like agreements of the compass and everything like that. So we can talk about how you envisioned and created each of those different components, and then how was it
How was envisioning the process of the Swiss Army Man?
When you do music videos and short films, a lot of times we're just coming up with crazy images, and we try not to be judgmental of them. We'll be like, okay, that was funny, we'll write that down. So we had this idea of a superpowered farting corpse, and then we're like, what other powers? And there's so many that aren't in the movie. Like he was gonna have extending hair and like a hole in the back of his head that you could use as binoculars. You squeeze his eyeballs. And it kind of came down to like trying to craft a narrative where like beat by beat, like why does he need this power? Like which powers are going to be actually satisfying? So you're not like, hopefully you're not, an hour into the movie like I don't care, So that was kind of the litmus test. Like, can we make it work for the story?
Daniel, do you want to talk about the process of performing all of that?
So, I mean, like a huge amount of the credit for all that goes with like Jason Hamer, who was our special effects and makeup designer, who designed lots of like amazing things, like the water rig when I'm like being used as a tap or a shower. Then like that was the crying stuff, obviously the penis compass. Like it was all amazing and hilarious, and like I think it made every day just incredibly funny, because every day you arrived on set going, how is that going to work? How are we going to do that? And every day we found solutions. There was also I did go through the process on this film of getting like a prosthetic done of my arse. Which is not like a dignified process, as but like, because at one point I think you guys had said that you had planned to like just make a body of me and put a motor in it that Paul could like actually ride, but that ended up not happening. But they did end up, but there is still like a prosthetic arse with like a tube in it for blasting air through. So it's like it was just always, it was an endless source of clarity, but also like watching Jason make and create those things and everyone put them into action was really, really cool.
Okay, we have time for 2 more questions, unfortunately. Yeah, right at the front of the balcony.
So there are a lot of poignant moments. There's a story here, like this character development for all this clarity, but obviously the buzz is how many people are walking out, into the movie. What is any of you, actors, directors, producer, response to some of those reactions?
What is your response to the lie of people leaving in droves?
Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty full here. I mean, I can't see all of you. I think it is a genuinely very impressive thing to be able to do. You've just seen the movie, so this will make some sense to you, that farts in this film are not just used comedically, they obviously are, but they're also used as like an important part of the story, and actually like are featured in emotional moments. And I feel like some people are super uncomfortable with that, and that in a way is what the film's about. It's about the fact that there's all this very human stuff, like farting and masturbating. It's all very natural, that we're all sort of taught to be a little bit ashamed of, and if we found more acceptance with that, it would all, as Melanie said at the end. So it's I don't know, I think it helped to prove the point of the film. I don't know, somebody else talk.
I'll also say that it turned out to be something really good in our favor. Everyone's talking about it now, so like, honestly, only like 10 people left, but like if the world believes everyone left, and for some reason it's actually still good and it's about farts, like, I don't know, if I was at home reading about that, I'd be like, I need to see that movie.
Congratulations to the idiot journalists. Yes, in the black.
not exist. So we're like, oh, let me pitch this idea to you. Wouldn't it be funny if we made that? And then we like sit on that for a moment. Wouldn't it be funny if we made that? It's honestly, it's just us following that train of thought. We have no, we don't have like big elaborate schemes of like making, like we didn't know what we were gonna do with the movie. Like we didn't know it was gonna be about shame or about love, or we had no idea what the movie was gonna be. It just kind of slowly unraveled before us, and it was kind of a really fun process. Like as confused as you guys were watching this film, that was what we were going through for the past like 3 years. And like even now we still don't fully understand it, but I think that's what's exciting about it. It kind of grows, and I'm sure in a couple of days you guys will still be thinking about it. But the same way that we like can't shape the idea, we can't shape these characters, and I'm excited to see what happens in your brains. You know, it's gonna be really fun for you guys to wake up and be like, I'm still thinking about farts.